It's Mardi Gras. It's the 11th anniversary of me getting drugged and abducted off Bourbon Street. And that wasn't even my worst day that year so far that year. And today I went from dancing on a table on Frenchman Street to sobbing my eyelashes off by the river. And I just feeling all the pain of all these experiences and the rage and the anger, having to get deeper in touch with these things so I don't become such a fucking bitch and take it out on the world and become jaded and bitter and closed off to the world, because I really want to live. And it is so crazy. Like I was telling my students in Roulac yesterday that it was actually easier. Life was actually easier when I was getting regularly assaulted and abused than it is now, and has been for me to do all the things that I've done to get myself here. And that's why I say there's no victims. Like, there's no victims with me, but that doesn't mean that you don't sometimes need that space to feel everything. As much responsibility as you take, as much agency as you have, as much power as you command, still need that space to be held and loved and nurtured. And it's really hard to take that space or like have that space for yourself when it feels so unsafe, because it was the people that you loved the most that started the trend for people to violate and abuse you. It's a deep purge and a deep upgrade. It's a deep commitment, a deep sense of purpose. It's a choice. It's a choice that we're making to move into this new era, into this new earth. It's really real. We do this. If we believe in what we say we believe in, if we believe in what we talk about, we have to live it. We can't just talk about it. And it's not always fun and happy. And it is dark and dreary. And this is where I live. I live in the darkness. I live in the dreary just as much as I live in the light. And I've been so ashamed of myself for who I am. And my experiences that I've blocked out love because I didn't feel that I deserved it. And so even as I go into this initiation portal with you guys and open up the space for these Isis Reiki and Reiki Mother initiations, this is what it is. It's about breaking the curse of taking on too much burden and never letting it down, and never being allowed to let it down, and never being allowed to feel it, and never being allowed to let it go, just always having to hold it and hold it and hold it. Being in such an unsafe world that we just learned that like nothing was ever gonna be safe and nothing was ever gonna be okay, and we would have to be on guard at all times, and that we would never be able to let our guard down, because that moment when we will get hurt the most. But people hurt each other every day unknowingly, and we gotta be able to actually like communicate past these fears and past these pains and past these traumas. But first we have to give them a voice. We have to give that which lives in us a voice, that it can tell its story. And the pain body voice inside of me is screaming and wailing. And she is La Llorona. She walks the river. She walks into the water, drowns herself night after night, night after night, because the horror is too much to bear. And she can't do anything about it. And this is really where I was at last summer, and it was like, it was so hard. Last summer was one of the hardest times of my life. And I went through it, like, mostly alone. And that was a good thing for me, to learn, like, how much I can rely on myself and how much I know what to do. And other people don't know better than me. But it's still, you know, I think it still would have helped to have some love and some softness. And I know that I always go through those initiation portals in the summer. And by this summer, I want more love and I want more softness around me. Like, I'm letting go. I'm letting go of these pains. This started when I was a baby. The violations that started when I was a baby, that made it feel like I would just never be able to protect myself. I'm letting it go so I can be free in the world, so I can really be free. You can't fully have sovereignty without community. And it's the difference between, like, holding a community versus being held in the community, and the boundaries and bounds of that. I'm always, like, figuring that out and recalibrating that. Somebody left their weird hat.
I'm like, okay, I heard that. Okay.
So one of the things that my yoga teacher had said a while ago, when I was talking to her about stuff I had experienced in childhood, she kind of was like, you know, basically, like, was like, yeah, you know, I've experienced stuff like that too, but I don't like to make a big deal about it because everybody makes mistakes and everybody's done things that they're not proud of. And she was basically like, I've done things I'm not proud of, but it was like kind of just, I felt like it was just really brushed it off. Because, yeah, like, it's like, yeah, a lot of children that have been molested other children too, or abused other children, or abused other people. And I don't think it's something that we should brush off just because it's uncomfortable to talk about. And I want to have these conversations in public. I want to have these conversations out in the open. I don't want to leave no stone unturned. I want to know. And it's not always that, you know, like, knowing is enough for me. I don't need all the details. I don't need to see everything that happened. I just need to know. And I just want everybody to be 100 on the same page and looking at each other in the face. Not trying to always keep things and hide things and fake things and lie about things. It feels very, very scary. Like, the depths of fakery that goes on scares me. And I don't understand the human nature aspect of preying on weakness. I don't understand it because I'm like trying to think like of times when I've done that. I don't do that. Like, when people show me weakness, I show kindness, compassion. I don't prey on their weakness. If anything, I just leave it alone if I can't show compassion. And don't mistake my delivery or my jokes or sarcasm or whatever for the fact that like you in front of me having a breakdown or being extremely emotional about something. Like I'm not doing none of that. I'm holding space. But there's certain things that I just can't really abide by, and one of them is the victimhood consciousness. I can't abide by it. I can't abide hearing over and over how everybody's victimizing you, because what I've been through is so crucial. Like, and it happened to me over and over and over and over, and it didn't stop until I stopped it. It didn't stop until I stopped it, and I took responsibility. And same thing with this. Like, it would be easy for me to just be like, oh, I can't keep friends because everybody's jealous of me and wants what I have and tries to use me. The reality is that I literally have an imprint from my parents of them being jealous of me and using me and not knowing love because they didn't receive it. And their parents, I don't know, like who in my lineage has received love? Like, who in my generations have received real love? When was the last time? It was like 50,000 years ago. Like, shit is fucked up. This world is so deeply fucked up. I am everything that I fight against. I am everything. I am the embodiment of everything that's wrong with the world. It made me. It created me. And I'm here. Like, what the fuck? One of the reasons why I felt so low over the summer is because, like, I'm like, oh, no big deal. Devoted my life's work to ending generational sexual abuse, and I'm not really sure if I actually can do this. I'm not really sure if this is even possible. But it's like, no, it's not possible for me to do it. It has to come from inside of the earth. And all I can do is just say my piece. There's no victims here. And it's another thing too that's really deeply traumatized me as well. I'm just trying to do my work. I've had weird ass people over and over try to like say that I'm a bad person or I'm problematic, and I'm like, you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, and do things to try to get me out of opportunities and hurt and not have people not like me. And like, it's like I have a little girl inside of me that just wants to be loved and just wants friends and just like wants to be cared for and considered. And like, it's weird to me the way people act and move. And I'm content and happy to spend most of my time by myself is how I can complete my life's work. I don't want to be everywhere with everybody. So this is my bitch era. And this is my boundaries era. Because in case you guys haven't noticed, I'm going up, and it's stuck. So I've tripled my income in the past year. I make more money now than when I was trapping off Backpage with 3 phones and 3 ads looking like 3 bitches. And I love it here. And that's what it hurts. To live actually hurts. To slowly die, it doesn't hurt that bad. To be a victim, it's not that crucial. It doesn't hurt that bad. It's easy. But to really live and really live with the uncertainty of life, feeling your body and feeling your emotions, it actually hurts. And people will do anything to avoid that. So I won't avoid it. I won't run from it. I'll sink deeper and deeper into this body. I'll sink deeper and deeper into Mother Earth, into my place here. I will bear children. Like, I have real issues because the shit hurts. because it's like the things that I want most are the things that have been taken away from me. But I'm powerful and I know how to get them back. And I won't let nobody tell me no. I can have what I want. And I know this. So I'm really, really, like, it's getting really deep. It's getting really deep. Really, really going there. Really going there. So, just really felt like it was time to check in. It felt so good dancing like that earlier. I was dancing to all this strip club music that I used to listen to when I was dancing in Atlanta. I did listen to it and I danced to it. And there was all this New Orleans bounce music. And then I came out here and there was a rave music. And that felt so nostalgic. And I was just dancing around and spinning around. And then I brought myself to the river and I just couldn't control myself and I just started sobbing and boo-hooing. And I hit up one of my client friends, my client/friend. I'm so grateful. It's like I need the community that I have created so bad, and it's hard, It's hard balancing my position with the fact that I need love. And there's very few people that are quite equipped to hold space for me, like the people that gravitate towards me. And it's also that's not you guys' burden, but I knew who to hit up. It's a fine line. I've had so much weird stuff happen to me. You guys wouldn't believe. But I really, like I said, there's no victims here. I really believe that I co-create every experience. And a lot of times when you come from a really weird, family dynamic of being sexually abused within your family, it takes time to get things solid within your boundaries and yourself, and to really be able to trust and feel safe. And it's we don't just jump from being fucking pimped out by our parents to having great boundaries and healthy relationships with most people. And for me, there's a lot of karmic debt in my past. I don't believe in karma from this lifetime, because that shit's all I cleared all that, and it's also an illusion. And the past life memories are real. That is real. It's easy and it's common for me to be in some type of debt in this lifetime. It doesn't bother me or stress me out, because it is coming from my past lives. And I know what to do with it and how to work with it. So, I forgot what I was saying. But this is the dynamic that I explore within motherhood. Putting those burdens on the children, not handling them, not taking responsibility, putting them off, becoming cold, becoming hard, making a shell around yourself. I don't want to do none of these things. I want to be soft. I want to be vulnerable with everybody, all the time in my life, and then as soon as people cross the line, I can let them know and tell them what they did. And over time, it gets easier and easier. And I do believe we're in control. I believe we have agency and we have power. And I don't believe that anybody is a victim. And I do believe that a lot of the stories that we tell is a currency, a form of need and currency. And it's honestly, that shows you who's willing to spend and embrace currency with you, your currency. Like, who can handle it and who can't, who's willing to handle it and who'd rather turn away from it. I look deep, I'm not turning away. I see everything, I notice everything, and I am going into a life where I don't have to, because I'm safe and I'm sovereign, and I don't have to peep every weird energy that people direct at me to keep myself safe. I can just move freely and not have to worry about it, because it's not about me all the time. And even if it is about me, it's none of my business until somebody brings it up to me. But I'm really just feeling very protective over myself at this time, because it's too many people that like think that they're like me, and they're not. They haven't done what I've done. They haven't exposed what I've exposed. They haven't built what I've built. They have not created what I've created. But their egos want to feel like they have. And it wouldn't be an issue if they didn't have the ability to have any access to me. But it's just like the idea of energy healing, of like cleansing and purging and clearing energy. But what about just letting the energy go through you? What about just softening and letting the energy just move through you? And not holding it, not blocking it, just feeling it, just perceiving it and experiencing it. So that's what I want to explore next. That's what I'm going towards. It felt so wavy earlier, just like I felt like I was getting back into Earth's frequency and the Earth's vibration. I feel like she's getting back in her frequency and her vibration. Like, we've turned a major corner, and it happens. It's happening right now. The Pluto return of the United States, it's not just about the creation of the United States, it's what happened in order to create the United States, which was a massacre of witches and women. It was a massacre of women who were in their mother and their crone phase, so that all that was left was maidens. And this has happened over and over and over for the past 50,000 years, because women reproduce and multiply, and every time when there got to be too much of a critical mass of women witches, they were slaughtered again and again and again, and the only ones left to procreate the new world with was maidens, children who were orphans, who had no mothers, who had no parents, because their parents had been slaughtered. And it doesn't matter, it's not racial. It's actually like, it's like so twisted. It's so super twisted. I'm not going to get all into it right now. It's actually everything that were taught in school and learned about history is a fucking lie. And if you still believe in it, I don't know why. I thought it's like a piece of trash, but it looked like a speculum. So I was like, what the fuck? So this is the consciousness that's coming now, and the memories and remembrance of what has really happened here. The whispers of the earth that she's trying to teach us and tell us and guide us the way to go. And there's things that we want to see happen that they're not going to happen in our lifetimes. Like, we're just one drop in the river to try to reverse this horrible damage that's been done to ourselves, to our loved ones, to our lineages, to our planet. And our side is gonna win. But it's like, yeah, what are we fighting against? The fight is not a fight. It's all this is gonna happen no matter what we do. So we might as well enjoy our lives while we still have them. That entails the depth of emotion and feeling and vulnerability that I have yet to attend, but I'm on my way, and I will live to post another video another day and let y'all know how it went. And I just felt like I really had to follow up. My last video, I was feeling so snarky and bitchy, and that was important to me to express that and get that off my chest. And also, like, I wanted to show, like, a softer, more vulnerable side of me of, like, what's actually really going through my mind and what I'm actually dealing with. And just to open myself up a little more. So, thank you for listening. And say mashallah, tell a friend, you know. And stay tuned. Peace healers. Masalam.